My name is Allison Pascal. I also go by Allie Rainbow, and I've been here in the Ashby Community Gardens for about 4 years now. And my journey to the Ashby Community Gardens was really quite magical to me. I had been a beekeeper and doing some community gardening at another garden where I kept my bees, and all of a sudden I had to move my bees very suddenly. And that's when I got connected with Bonnie and with Nora. They called me up and said, "We can move your bees to Ashby Community Garden." And I thought, well, I guess that was a sign from the universe that it was time for me to move from a place that I had called home for a while to into a brand new community. And that was one of the most magical things that's happened in my life in the last 4 years. When I lost my mother from pancreatic cancer, I all of a sudden realized, as part of my healing, that gardening, the way that my mother used to garden in Detroit, Michigan, became my calling. And the bees became my calling from the flowers, because I started to realize that I was just so fascinated by the relationship between the plants and the biodiversity and the pollinators and how they all work together. And I became a beekeeper. Because I was realizing that in order to really promote a healthy, biodiverse garden, that we couldn't just focus on the soil tilth, and we couldn't just focus on the plants, but we had to really focus on the pollinators and the interaction between the pollinators and those plants. And because bees had been threatened by many different things recently, you know, anything from colony collapse to different fungal diseases, to queens not being as strong as they had been, that I just decided, well, I'm going to become a bee protector, because somebody has to speak for the bees, and I might as well start as soon as I could. So that's what I did. And being here at Ashby Community Garden, I got connected with other people who were just as interested in the plight of bees as I was. And how great was that, to be able to finally do what I love with so many new people, and build a community around what it meant to create a community garden. And one of the things that we ended up doing was having a workshop on native pollinators. And I brought somebody from the Urban Bee Lab from UC Berkeley here, Jamie. And Jamie, I think, opened up some more doorways for us, because she was able to come here. There was about 50 of us or so here, and she showed us around and really identified all of these different pollinators that were coming to the plants. And that one day, I don't even remember how many wild pollinators we found, but there were a lot. And it was, I don't know, it's another one of those things that just changed my life. It's our duty, and it's a privilege for us to be on this planet, to be taking care of these pollinators, and planting for them, and realizing that it's not enough to just plant for the seasons, but it's really important to plant all year round, so that they have pollen sources and resources and places they can call home. Every single thing that you put into the ground that's growing, hopefully, is having some kind of benefit and some kind of direct connection to the health of all of these pollinators. And without all this open space that they can call home, you know, bees can survive, but they have a much harder time. They need to have these open-ended spots that they can just meander and fly around and, you know, collect pollen. What we've created here at Ashby Community Garden, we've worked really hard to not just grow the pollinating plants, but collect the seeds and, you know, grow some new ones in our greenhouse and replant those and give them away and give them to people in the community, and give them to other people so that they can plant them in their spaces. And it doesn't just have to be in an open space. It could be in a container too. But the point of the matter is that it's an act of humanity. I see it as an act of humanity for the planet that we do all of these things for the bees and for our community. And without it, we really wouldn't be here, because we depend really on so many of the different resources that the bees give us. It would be a really challenging situation to be in if we no longer had this land to be on. I have to say, we've been here for 11 years, and even though I've only been here for 4 of those 11 years, I feel so strongly that these spaces need to be protected by any means necessary. There's so many open spaces that get taken over or get foreclosed on and can no longer be gardens. And this is not just a garden, it's a community within itself. You know, we have individual plots, we have communal areas, we have pollinator gardens, we have a greenhouse, we have chickens, we have bees, we have lots of birds and butterflies. We have lots of neighbors that just come by, you know, and then we have all these community workshops that brings in a wide variety of people with all kinds of skills. I really believe that we're at a very important point in our society right now of making decisions about what do we need in order to be able to keep the planet healthy and vital, and how do we continue to build bridges and with the community as a whole, because without that healthy community we can't continue to carry on. And even if people just walk by Ashby Community Garden and look in, they often wonder what's behind the fence. Well, I am here to say that what's behind the fence is something that has been envisioned and created and continues to be envisioned and recreated, and is just in a most amazing, incredible space. And without all of that, I would feel an incredible void.